guys, and welcome back to another episode of Nomifactory. Hope you enjoyed the overly dramatic intro. And you're joining me as I set down a miner on the moon in order to take advantage of the denser ore veins, such as bauxite here, where this chunk has over 1,000 ores. But with that miner set down, we can go back home real quick and put on our usual fit. Don't we look nice? But what are we gonna do this episode, you may ask? Well, after taking off titanium and rocky fuel and doing the rest of the stuff, I think we focus on these two, being our rock breaker and polytetrafluoroethylene, or as you may know it,
aka go to hell.
So let's get started. First of all, let's look it up. There we go, polytetrafluoroethylene. As you can see, there's multiple recipes to it, but this LCR one we're not going to use because it requires titanium tetrachloride. What we're going to do though is use this oxygen one, which requires, well, oxygen and tetrafluoroethylene, which we can do in one step in a large chemical reactor, but we don't have that yet. Plus it's an IV recipe. We're going to do chloroform and hydrofluoric. Well, hydrofluoric is just hydrogen and fluorine, and chloroform is chlorine and methane. And the start of this long process is not going to start at chemical reactors or any of that, but it's going to start at crushing down the charcoal we get from our pyrolysis oven through this electrolyzer and this macerator. If we go grab an interface real quick, we can turn it into a flat interface. We can have you placed there. If we connect it with some fluics and a conveyor, we can request our charcoal over here, aim this downwards, oh well, both of these downwards, and then just do the usual and run energy, which we're going to do through this 1x manganese phosphide, which can hold 2 amps at 1x and is also a superconductor. Now why isn't this connecting? If I actually connected the charcoal drawer over here, it would help. There you go. And our macerator should be getting... No, I think this might be on export. Yeah, let's put that on import and do the usual dance. There we go. And I should be able to run both of these effectively with... Oh, that's actually like exactly enough. That is 1 amp of LV being used. This at 30 and this at 2. But alright, that's gonna get us our passive carbon dust for our methane. Alright, well, that's step 1 complete. I'm probably going to have to storage bus this drawer as well, but we can get to that later. And the rest of our processing line is obviously going to start with, you know, an energy converter once it decides to appear in my system. There we go. Here we can get our electrum wire. We're switching away from blue alloy because it's annoying to make, and then the bulk of the cost is going to be the 6 chemical reactors that we're going to need. You know what, just get 16 processor assemblies. We can order up 6 more hulls. We were missing 6 more motors, some gold cable. We can do that easily, and that should be all our CPUs being used for now. And with our CPUs now cleared, should be simple as getting to the recipe and just, well, I was gonna say just clicking a bunch, but seems we're out of polyethylene pipes. No worries, we can just grab a half stack of you, crush it, which takes absolute 0 time. Put that through, get those up, and simply place them back in for our other chemical reactors. And this seems to be the case with this entire wall. I'm gonna put the process over here after a quick little brainstorming session because I don't plan these out. And after getting it all set up, we're going to have our polytetrafluoroethylene in the steel drum, and these machines are going to be what produces everything for us. oxygen, it was circuit 1. And there we go. There's our completed polytetrafluoroethylene, or PTFE if you still can't be bothered saying its name. And in case I didn't show it, this uses up a lot of hydrogen, but using the methanol we get from our pyrolyse oven, we can just electrolyze it to solve our issues. First things first, we need an electrolyzer, which starts with ordering more circuits, yet another machine hull, and some copper cable. And not everything is done crafting, but we should be able to craft our electrolyzer. And now we just need our converter and some cable to actually transfer the power to our machine. There we go. And I'll do some of this. There we go. So we're going to extract from this, insert on this. And now this gives us both hydrogen and oxygen, but we only want to void the oxygen, so we can filter it, place down a conduit, and, well, enable extract. And honestly, I'll probably just extend the conduit line, yeah. Add a quick filter for methanol, place it in our conduit and enable insert, whitelist hydrogen into our fluid interface, and finally, actually request our methanol. Yeah, now it's getting methanol, and we need to run power. There we go. But I do not want it to run constantly. So we're going to level limit it, which starts with putting on a machine controller. And we're going to set it so that it only runs above 1.5 million millibuckets of methanol. I think that should work. So let's say we just disconnect it. This stop is working? Yes, it does. Okay. Should be fine, I guess. Because how much methanol does one thing of wood vinegar do? Oh, it's not at all profitable, but oh well. Seems like we now have our hydrogen good to go. Alright, and I need to go craft a storage bus. Storage bus. Get some fluids. No, I'm not liking how this is coming. But back to what we were doing. Wait, why are you full? Oh, I just forgot to enable input. Well, with that, machines have turned on, so clearly it's working. Well, with our hydrogen done and PTFE also done, we can knock this off, and now all that's left is to rush the EV rock breaker, which if we go into JEI, we can see is a craft and a half. The main part is going to be these two new components, being the EV electric piston and the electric motor, which requires canthal, titanium, neodymium, and aluminium, which we all have minus the neodymium, which even if we had, we need an HV polarizer to even magnetize it. So let's get started on that. Oh, we can request everything. But anyway, while that's cooking, well, we still need to get the normal neodymium, which is going to come from an EBF, but we can speed up the recipe using helium, which we have not gotten before. But if we get this endstone dust we've gotten from macerating an infinite amount of end ores, and come over to our centrifuge over here, we will see that this is an EV recipe. Doesn't seem like it. Okay, I guess we're cooking it without a fluid then. Let's put this endstone dust back. We can grab our neodymium, head to our little EBF hole, and just because I wanted kind of now, I'm gonna steal this stainless and put in our neodymium, which we're actually going to have to filter on our thing over here. 47 seconds just for some neodymium. This is going to take a while, and while we're waiting for those things to craft, we can get started on the rest of the motor parts. which starts with skipping the neodymium rod, but titanium we have plenty of. We can throw some of it through our lathe. Canthal, I'm not sure we have. We do not. Let's just craft up 2 batches of it. Aluminium cable. Gonna need probably an amount of it. Just need this 2x. And in order to coat it, we're going to need polyvinyl chloride sheets, which we actually haven't made in a while. And I'm gonna go upgrade that drawer real quick. We can come over here, throw this through, and using those thin sheets, then come over to our assembler, and now throw it through. Yeah, we're gonna want to switch over to something like silicon rubber, since first of all it's more efficient. There seems to be like no benefit to it. I think regular rubber stops coating past EV, so it's gonna be a worthwhile investment either way. But anyway, HV polarizer. Well, we're missing gold cable. Right, there's polarizer made. We can go hook it to an HV line somewhere. I think this might be a wake-up call to start upgrading our on-demand ones. But there's our magnetic neodymium. And then we just need this canthal to cook. Though it should already be automatically being made. Yeah, it's just slow at 34 seconds. While some of our canthal has finished, let's run 8 through our wire mill over here. Let's get the rest of the parts needed for our piston, which is going to require normal 1x aluminium. We're going to need some titanium small gears. We'll do 8 of you. We'll do 24 plates. The small gears done. The cable should have been done by now. Now all we're missing is the thing, which is the canthal wire. Here we can get our first EV motor. We're gonna need 2 of you. Get our first piston. And then for the rock breaker, we still need an EV hull. So there's our first EV machine hull. Is that a quest? It is. And now we just need this grinding thing, which is double steel plates, which we can just do via hammercraft. Which should allow us to get our grinding head, and that allows us to get our advanced rock breaker. Now, why exactly do we want a rock breaker? Doesn't that just produce cobblestone? Well, yes, you're actually kind of correct, but once you hit EV, we can start producing black granite. And then using this black granite, we can then crush it for thorium, as well as black granite dust, which you centrifuge into silicon dioxide, and also biotite, which is going to be our first passive source of fluorine, and I guess we can get some extra potassium out of it. But yeah, now that I think about it, we're probably going to need an energy converter for EV. Do a simple 1 amp for now. So we're going to need a workstation. We're going to need another hull. And this workstation's probably going to take a while. Right, with our workstation done, we should be able to craft our energy converter. And for EV, I don't really know anything, or I don't really know any cables we could use, so we're just going to use aluminium for now. Rock breakers are kind of tricky because they do need to be surrounded by both lava and water. So where could I put this? I mean, I could put it, let's see, build this up. We can put down some glass panes. Could do that. Rock breaker. Power is gonna go here. There we go. And I guess you'll output to a destroyer. Let's get some more glass panes for the back. Do I have any normal black granite? Don't tell me I'm gonna have to go and find some. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go find some black granite. But first, let's finish setting this up. we can do this and this. This will start producing once we give it power. Yes, it's not getting power, and simply running this thing is going to destroy our power grid. I'm gonna go need to find that black granite, so bear back. It seems that 20 minutes later, not really, but it's been a while, we found some black granite, which we can grab. So we can just... Why exactly did I give myself European pipes and ZPM pumps and whatever the hell? Well, I was just too lazy to get an MIO port. I mean, seriously, look at this recipe. I ain't trying to do all this. But anyway, I just used it to move our oxygen from this 1K to this 4K. Hence why we are carrying around 11,000 buckets of hydrogen compared to the limit of 8,000 on an 8K. Home base. Can head over here to our passive processes, and it'll start running. Though I can't foresee this being to the favor of any of our numismatics. Yeah, their energy usage is just climbing. I mean, that's good. If we got power, why not use it? We're gonna want it at least like an HV macerator to get thorium. And we're also gonna want a centrifuge and an electrolyzer. Okay, so we can do like macerator, centrifuge, electrolyzer here. Let's get this super tank of fluorine. Not go back to our area. We're gonna get a drawer. And then let's go craft up the stuff. First of all, it's going to be a macerator. It's just going to require another of these. We're going to need a motor and a piston. With both the things made, that's our macerator. We're going to need a centrifuge, or centrifuge if you say it correctly, which is arguably probably the most expensive thing. Let's craft 2 holes. And then for the electrolyzer, well, electrolyzers are cheap, so there's our electrolyte, and we're just waiting on... Well, bruh. Alright, that should be our final thing. And we still have 1 circuit left over. We'll get our 4A converter. It's going to require one of you, another HV hull, and some 4X gold cable. And there's our energy converter, which needs some electrum cable, converter, macerator, centrifuge, electrolyzer. Then I'm gonna need a drawer for thorium as well. Do that, and then conveyor. Next port. While I was waiting, I did craft an electric screwdriver. Then I'm also gonna be getting, what's his face? My brain. Also gonna be getting silicon dioxide. Filter that, and you're just gonna go into a drawer with a void upgrade. Didn't I have like trim here somewhere, or where was it? I think it was in this bag. Yeah, frame to trim. And actually, alright, now I'll put the controller right there. Run an AE connection. Now we run both power and an AE. So these are getting power, but let's just feed it manually for now. Okay, so you're getting the black iridescent. This makes sense to the centrifuge. There's our thorium. This biotite's being sent. Let's export the fluid. And then did I also conveyor? Conveyor. I don't have 3 conveyors. I guess let me go craft another conveyor up. It's gonna be a while till it's enough biotite. That is a pretty terrible ratio by the time it gets all the way to this. since it's 22 biotite. I'm also going to need a way to void the oxygen, so I think we're going to need another fluid trash can, which thankfully are easy peasy. Put that there. Use our final fluid filter, oxygen. Right, we should get our first amount of biotite soon. Oh, there we go. It's a 20-second recipe. Oh, fluorine got pushed in. And then all of this we can do here. I'm gonna put a void upgrade on that as well. Fat chance it's going to fill anytime soon, but you know. Yeah, and honestly, I might just put an interface here with a conveyor. Alright, interface done. Actually, doesn't really do anything for us because we don't have a controller yet. Well, now we just need a drawer controller and a storage bus. Here's our this. Yeah, and it's seeing the thorium, the granite, and our little circus of dusts over here. Bam. Extract only, high priority. Raise this to 4 black granite and do the usual cover. Yep, slowly but surely filling up the empty space in our little passive area. Something I want to ask y'all about is like, should we tear down this little biomass stuff? Because we get ethanol by the truckloads out of wood vinegar. Should we get rid of this and open up kind of, because if we got rid of this, we get rid of this, we can split it off and then do some other process right here. But what do y'all think? Should we keep it? Should it go? Let me know. That'll be all for today's episode. Hope you enjoyed the intro and the rest of the episode. I thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Peace.